So there's a heated debate, and rightfully so, about AI and its impact on the job market. So let's look at one video as an example and the reasoning behind it and the data we have. And I will give my 2 cents if there's good reasoning behind it or maybe not, what I think about it and what my perspective is on it. Let's go.
According to World Economic Forum, 85 million jobs will be replaced by AI by 2025. And on top of that, PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, said an estimated 30% of all jobs will be replaced by AI in mid-30s. Goldman Sachs said 300 million jobs are going to be replaced. But a data came out, which is very crazy, breaking down who does AI hurt the most, men or women?
Okay, first off, a problem that I see with almost all of these like videos and articles, etc., etc. They have the main problem, in my opinion, that they don't reason by first principles, but instead of data points, they ask experts, they extrapolate something, something, something. But almost always you have evidence-based reasoning. So you have data points, like for example, expert one said this, and then expert two said this, and then we have a study, and then we have this, and we have that, and we have this and that, etc. The problem is that doesn't bring you far anyway or anywhere. Let's see. I prepared this graphics exactly for that reason. Problem is most experts, me included, were completely off, like by at least 20 years, at least as far as we can see right now. How intensely AI will actually impact us right now, and what are the capabilities right now? So a GPT-4 and similar capabilities were predicted, like even if you just extrapolate exponential trends, at least at 20, 40, 50, maybe 60 something. So basically, the whole the whole niche was wrong. Like the whole AI bubble was more or less, except for some outliers, of course, basically wrong. It came quicker, it came more intense, it came better, it came already even now and with more practical applications, etc., etc. So the problem is expert opinions just get you that far. So, and you see it right here. If the forecast error continues, whatever you hear right now doesn't make any sense. What is the basic behind it? Let me make an example. You can predict the trajectory of a planet, for example, through two ways mainly. First, you can say, okay, at night 1, the planet is there. Like you look through a telescope and you look, okay, I see the planet, it is there. At night 2, the next night, you look again at the planet, it is a little bit far more on the right. Night 3, night 4, etc., etc. So with enough data points, you see that a planet is actually moving. So you can say, okay, if I extrapolate this, then the planet should be on night 100, for example, at this point. Will it reach there? We don't know, actually. It could be, and the evidence says so, like your data points, but as you don't understand the basic principles behind it, like gravity, etc., you always rely just on data points, which is basically saying, I watched for the last 300 days in the morning that the sun is going off. So, okay, night is over, sun rises, great. So basically, sun has to rise until infinity. This is based on your data points. Problem is, if you don't understand like the nuclear reactions within the sun, etc., you don't understand that will be some point where the sun will just, I don't know, implode, explode, whatever, will just die basically. And like a lot of light years later, there will be some morning where the sun won't rise, which is, if you understand the basic principles, again, like forces of nature, but not the evidence points that you have. I hope I can make this clear, because these are like you can watch reality, like, okay, if a squirrel will always move up the tree, for example. So you watched it often enough, so you think that is what a squirrel does, but you don't know why it is doing it. Maybe there are very, very juicy nuts up there, and if you put the nuts somewhere else, the squirrel won't run up the hill. So basically, you have 2 points: reasoning by evidence, by data points, or or maybe sometimes best case it's complementary, sure, but very often you don't have the luxury of having both, like enough data and good reasoning. So in my opinion, at least, and I share this with David Deutsch, I have this this approach from David Deutsch, love it. It is not enough to just look at data and ask experts, etc., but instead of, and you see here, like all the data we had, all experts were saying, yeah, okay, AGI may be 50 years off, or 30 years off, or 100 years off, or whatever. Then we had the GPT moment, ChatGPT, now with Midjourney and Claude and whatever. And way more experts say, oh, damn, we were wrong, obviously. But the problem is, you ask experts, you extrapolate a little bit, but not based on first reasoning. And you get extrapolations and trends that are not true, that are just, yeah, they sound great, like the study from the World Economic Forum, and they asked experts, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is, it could be right, but more probably than not, it's wrong. This is one of the examples of it. So, what would be the better case or the better process in my mind? You look at first principles. Like, for example, what does exponential growth say specifically for AI? Like chips. What capacities per chip per, I don't know, $1,000, $100, whatever, do we have? What are the trends there? Same with data. Do we get more data? Do we get better data? What does this say about the quality of large language models? What does this say about emergent properties, etc., etc.? So you have a whole different paradigm. Like you have a big room. This is the room of AI predictions for the job market, and you look in just one corner. This is the expert corner. Like, okay, there are a lot of experts, and they say this and that, and then you have the World Economic Forum, and you have studies and blah, and everyone feels very, very great. But the problem is, you have the other corner on the other side where it is like first principle based, like what I said right now. So best case, of course, you will combine both, of course, but just one thing in the middle of the room, basically, like you have this two corners, and you have at the middle of the room would be case studies. Like, for example, Klarna. Klarna basically automated 700 job equivalents just with with a GPT chatbot. There was not that much technical excellence involved, for example, but it already works. So, at least in my opinion, if you want to get the right picture about what will arrive and what will hit basically the economy, just looking at experts and World Economic Forum data and studies and blah, blah, blah won't nearly be enough. That's my basic point, just to open this, because I have this so often. so often. So let's look at more of the video.
Whites, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, those with a high school diploma, those with bachelors, those with masters, and then what jobs are going to be replaced, what jobs are going to be protected, and then what new skill sets are on the rise. We're going to talk about all of that today. If you value added this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. So check this out. According to McKinsey, by 2030, at least 14% of employees globally might need to change their careers due to digitization, robotics, and AI advancements.
This is one of the prime examples. McKinsey is a consulting company. I don't know what special expertise they have, but usually, if you're not an AI institute or whatever, you are even more often than even the AI experts. So if you ask a consultant about basically anything, of course they have to say something, at least my experience. That doesn't say that they don't have experts that on there. But even if I take the approach that I want evidence, that I want to talk to experts, then I want to go to the source, like the people that work on it, that regulate it, maybe like AI institutes or from the large language model builders, etc., but not a second or third order participant, like a consulting company, or even better would be the client of McKinsey, or then the butcher at the street of the client of McKinsey. You know, you can, even if you ask experts, as I told before, experts are very often wrong, which is completely okay. I mean, it's reality after all. You just have the best clue you can have, I guess. But when you want to look at things, at least when you want to go by data points or by expert opinions, etc., at least go to the source. So this, at least for me, I don't know what happens next, but at least this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I don't have much confidence in this specific well, whatever McKinsey is saying there. I don't know the whole argument basically, but I don't have much faith in the argument just because it's not source material. But let's see.
So what is Pew Research saying on who's going to be affected by AI? If you look at this chart here, look what it says. What shares of workers are the most exposed to AI in their jobs? So men, 17%, women, 21%.
Actually, there's this argument that women are like have a very great time, economically speaking, in the mid to long term, but get hit more in the short term. In the short term, because of the basic mechanisms we have in our society right now, like they get paid worse, etc., etc. But as AI can basically, it's very, very just a very basic approximation, basically automate all jobs besides empathy based, like you have someone working in the kindergarten or even as coach, etc., etc. So where you work with people, so you get paid for stuff that you make with people, which usually is more a domain of women than with men on average. So there's this argument that they get hit in the short term harder, but in the mid to long term, they are the people who laugh, basically. You know, we have a good time because the economics will turn more to them. I don't know, but I found this argument, I find it at least compelling. Let's see.
More than men. Whites, 20%. Blacks, only 15%. Hispanics, only 13%. Asians, highest, 24%. AI is going to impact Asians the most, according to this. Then it goes.
Well, here, I mean, again, I would say in the short term, probably, because in the short term, we have the mechanisms of our current economic and society just multiplied by whatever, basically. So if you now have a not that great a job because you're structurally like disadvantaged by whatever reason, probably AI will make this worse in the short term. But, and this is a big but basically, if we do the right things on a political scale, like really first principle education, like you don't just educate people so they get from one job to the next job to the next job, because AI is replacing one after another, but give the options to found your passion, what you really love, etc., etc. Then I personally follow the argument that it doesn't matter actually really if you're black, Hispanic, white, whatever, because if you found your passion and you multiply it with AI, you will be on the best possible end anyway. But again, we need very, very good political and educational decisions to make this happen.
Goes to education. Less than high school diploma, it's not going to affect you. Why, though, somebody may ask. High school diploma, 12%. Some college, 19%. Look at bachelors. The most educated people who have gone to this school and educational system that we have, that we're going to be all free if we get this degree. They are the ones, 27%, most likely to be impacted by AI. But I'm following what you're telling me to do. I went to school. I got this degree. How can this impact me? There's a reason for it. Let's break it down. Because on this next page, it talks about what jobs are going to be automated. Number one, customer service representative, automated. Receptionist, automated. Accountants and bookkeepers, automated. Salespeople, automated. Research and analysis, automated. Warehouse work, automated. Insurance underwriting, automated. Retail, automated. Now, here's something that's...
Okay, at first, I don't understand why he's screaming that much. But anyway, another big problem that a lot of people get always wrong. Jobs won't be automated, at least not with the current AI paradigm. But jobs are made of tasks. So, for example, if you are an accountant, that is your job. Your tasks that make your job are working with Excel sheets, for example, talking to clients, creating and printing, I don't know, reports or whatever the whole thing is. AI right now can automate tasks or at least enhance tasks that much that it takes up to 99% less time per task to complete. So First off, that is a very, very, very big thing. And maybe, like, I don't know, maybe in a year, like I record this in early 2024, maybe in the next month or years, we will have AI that will replace whole jobs. It would be possible. There's no law of nature that would prevent it. But at least for now, we don't automate jobs, but we automate tasks, or at least we enhance them that much that you don't need that many people, for example, in the job, because way fewer people with the right AI knowledge can do it better. So first off, that's not exactly it. Second, I'm actually skeptical about, for example, salespeople and customer service, etc., to be completely automated, because of one reason. At the higher levels of, like, for example, customer service or whatever, like, you always talk with people, like with clients, for example. And for easy stuff, for easy tasks, like, I cannot get into my account. Okay, maybe an AI will help you completely. But I think for the more high value tasks, at least, you will need people, and even more so, I think, than right now. So I don't follow this argument completely. Like, I can see where they're coming from. Basically, they say, okay, an AI can already talk to you as it feels in natural language. Okay, sure. So that is basically what a customer service does. But plus it is quicker, it is more thorough, it is whatever. So sure. But I think it will at max automate 80 to 90% in a given company of that task. So, and then again, we are at the argument from before. If you absolutely love customer service, like that is your completely passion, you goddamn, you live for it, then I absolutely don't think, I don't see any possible future, at least where humans are in the form that we are right now, where someone who loves it, who has that passion, who has that passion for it, will be replaced by AI, but enhanced and augmented to a degree that he possibly, or he or she, has her or his own business with it, or at least he's very well more compensated, etc., etc. That it as a caveat to that.
Which jobs will not be replaced at all. Number one is teachers, which I don't know about that, because I think a lot of teachers, how many people are taking Udemy classes, and there's going to be these videos that are being made that are faceless videos. It's just audio.
Yeah, but the problem again here is with the argument that MOOCs, massive open online courses, will replace teachers. That is not what a school is for in the current system. Like, in the current system, you always go to school or university or whatever, also to network, to meet people in your age. It has a very intense social function. It has very high signaling status. So, for example, I go to Harvard not to per se learn that much, but I can say in the end, I went to Harvard. So I see again where he's coming from, or where they are coming from, but I don't see that this is the exact mechanism that makes teachers obsolete. I can agree that you, in principle, would be even better off with less teachers. Like, if you have like highly individualized bots, basically, that know what you already have learned, where are your weaknesses, etc., and help you with that. And you have basically the teacher just be a coach. Like, again, then you have more of the human perspective of his job. I could see that every child, for example, every student has its own AI learning bot, his own AI teacher, basically, that is exactly individualized to the status, basically learning status of the student, of the child. But then again, you have probably way less classical teachers, like with the topic, who are experts or not experts in their topic, but that they are there to basically train, coach them while they learn, so give them more people skills, etc. pp. That's on the social side. And on the content side, basically, on the side of the expertise, I think we'll have basically 1 to 5% maybe of the teachers and professors we have right now, like the very, very best, the tip at the top, and everyone else is indeed not needed. But again, this is my argument first. I would love, and I think we have the option right now. I would love to see a system that works towards enabling people to get to jobs that they absolutely love. Like, if you if you don't work in your absolute passion, you're not employable. It would be a future that I actually kind of would love to see, because then everyone is just always in the flow state, leveraged by AI, and everyone, bottom line, would be far, far, far better off than now. Like, far better off. Incredibly better off. Okay, let's go on.
Audio, put the content, go. You know how many YouTubers right now have millions of subscribers? You don't ever see a face. It's just automated. You can create content now. Did you watch the video of Sam Altman talking about the new advanced AI, what it's doing? A guy says, here, let me show you guys what this got hundreds of millions of views on social. We'll give you an example of it. One guy says, how about a person walking in the streets of Japan while it's snowing? Advanced AI just made that video and it looks 100% real. What if somebody is stuck in, space and he's wearing a red something hat or whatever it was? That person is created walking on space, going to a spaceship. All of these people are putting this stuff within seconds.
Okay, he's right. I already hear the people, yeah, but it's not 100% photorealistic right now. It will be. Sora version 2 will be 99% photorealistic. Sora version 3, like in, I don't know, 2 to 3 years latest, I guess, will be picture perfect. So that argument is not a valid one. I just thought he's right. There are a lot of YouTube channels where you don't even see a face. Maybe I can make this even more laid back. Let's see. Good idea, at least.
That video pops up. Do you know what happens to the film industry? I need a scene with somebody going through this. Boom, within seconds. You know what's going to happen with editors? I mean, obviously, no one's listening to you, our editors. Do you know what's going to happen to these editors? I have 2 editors here right now asking me to be a construction worker at the end of this video. I told them, no, Sam and Mike, we're not doing it. You're going to be editing for us. Teachers, in my opinion, will be affected by this, but in this opinion, according to Pew, they're not going to be. We'll see who's right. Lawyers and judges will not be affected by it. Bunch of judgmental people.
Okay, this is way too much to unpack right now, but from a pure economic perspective, law is one of the most perfect quadrants to attack with AI, because law is, qua definition, just, you have basically mathematics, like rules, with lots and lots of data, like lots of cases, etc., that have to be distilled basically to fit one specific case, which is the picture perfect point. That was great. To put in an AI. The problem is, like, first this, okay, it's picture perfect for an AI, hallucinations, etc. Aside, but you can compensate this with, yeah, lawyers that are actually a little bit educated in AI. And second, there lies a lot of money there. So it is the perfect attack point, like one of the perfect attack points of AI right now. Thing is just, it is absurdly hard secured by the whole law lobby, of course, which makes completely sense. But they won't hold this back. I'm very sure that they can try to slow it down, but they won't be. There's no chance in hell that you can stop this development in a field that economically, at least, important. So judges, I don't know. That is a really, really huge case to unpack. But at least for lawyers, etc., for their staff, etc., I can see it 100%. Not this year. Well, maybe even this year. I've seen some very promising startups, at least. But 100%, you will see a lot of disruption going down in the legal system.
Directors, managers, and CEOs won't be affected by it. HR managers won't be affected.
By the way, that is also not true. You have in South Korea and in Japan, for example, you already have some like members of the boards who are AIs or managers, etc., etc. Plus, you even can cut complete parts of the hierarchy where managers are right now with AI rightly used to reason, for example. So, no, I don't. Again, I get the point. It's people skills, it's complex skills, whatever. But I think that's wrong. First off, we already see examples of it, that this argument is wrong. And second, it doesn't even make sense. Like, AI is less biased, quicker, has always more data, you can fine-tune it to infinity with your corporate data, etc., etc. So I don't see managers, etc., saved or secure at all.
By it. Psychologists and psychiatrists, you're safe.
Here, I definitely agree. Yeah, 100. What? Not 100%. There are already AIs that already like help with psychological stuff, etc. But again, this is one of the most people skills that you probably can have. So I think psychologists, etc., will get augmented and enhanced through it, but don't get replaced. I don't think so.
Surgeons, you're safe for the time being.
For everything standard, you can we already have AI and robotics, for example. But I tend to agree as well. Like if it's very, very individually, and even if we can do this is the whole case with doctors in general. Even if you could replace them completely, we won't, because we always want to have feel the connection. Like if you get a bad diagnosis, for example, you always want to have the connection with a real human. Same like it's the same basically psychological thing with a driverless car. So it's completely irrational, but people like humans are not rational at all. So you feel paranoid or weird if there is a car that statistically is better than any human driving, or at least we will get to that point. just when is the question. Then when you have a chauffeur, for example, driving you. So I agree. I think they are mostly safe, but maybe not for the reason stated. I don't know, but that's at least my 2 cents.
Computer system analysts, you're safe. Artists and writers, although some people may say ChatGPT is starting to write a script. You know, if you want to go on ChatGPT and say, write me a hip hop song in the words of the way Tupac would speak, but the way that Trump speaks. And then boom, you put it together. You can write music nowadays. How many people that are writing lyrics are using ChatGPT today that maybe they didn't have that 20 years ago? Maybe some of that is also being automated. Now, top 10.
Okay, for me, that sounds that the whole argument, like he made the argument, that he made the counterpoint, and we just now going on. With GPT, especially, I see that you don't replace creative jobs per se that easily. But with Gemini, for example, or now Claude 3, etc., these bots are getting way, way, way better to write in specific styles, write creatively, etc., etc. So I don't see that argument actually. No, I don't see it. Like not in the extreme that he's pointing out right here.
Skills on the rise according to World Economic Forum. Number 1, creative thinking. I don't know if Klaus Schwab knows that's been on the rise for a long time, but these guys just figured it out, so they put it on the list. Creative thinking, folks, is on the rise. For the first time in the history of mankind, we like creative thinking. Number 2, analytical thinking. This is the first time we've ever valued analytical.
Okay, I think he tried to be ironic here. The thing is, even though it makes on first glance absolute sense that you need creative thinking, from business perspective it doesn't, because as soon as you have figured out something that works, you don't want to have people that are always creative, because creative means you're not doing that what already works and makes you money. So I don't know. I always feel that people don't think one step further and say, "Ooh, creative thinking, yeah, but it's great." I mean, again, in a project, on the first glance, it's a very high valuable skill. But from a business perspective, not always. And that's why in practice, it doesn't get valued that much, even though it looks like it would make sense. Hope that makes sense.
Critical thinking, folks. It's never happened before, but today we value it. Number 3, technological literacy. Okay, maybe that's a new one right there. 4, curiosity and lifelong learning. I value that. Number 5, resilience, flexibility, and agility. 6, system thinking. 7, AI and big data. 8, motivation and self-awareness. 9, talent management. And 10, service orientation and customer service. By the way, I fully agree with all these 10. I don't know if it's on the rise. It's always been valuable, but it's probably more valuable today than ever before, because most people who know how to do this, you're going to be able to see certain things that a machine may not be able to see. Which, by the way, I agree with this list. I think this is an evergreen list that's going to help you out, especially today with all the stuff that's going on with AI. But if you notice one thing on the list that's not on there, you notice it's not saying problem solving. It's not saying dealing with other people. Teamwork. Maybe because they don't believe we're going to be working together. That's what World Economic Forum thinks. They're thinking everyone's going to be working from their home or a little bit cubicle in their house, so you don't have to learn how to interact with other people.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff to unpack there. I don't want to make this a 4-hour video, so I will say just this. It's the same with democracy. It's not a good system, but it's the best we have. I think it was Churchill who said it or someone like it. Um, I don't like the World Economic Forum as a source per se, but in some cases, and this I think is even one of them, maybe is the best source for this. So I don't think again that they have even the skills to reason by first principles, because it's a skill that you basically never learn, and it's not economic valuable. So you have to learn a new way of thinking, which is not paid for and not asked for. So nobody's blaming them, but it's again would not be probably my first data point. Nonetheless, it's a good data point, no question there, but maybe not the best one. I don't know. I'm not sure about this.
Although number 10 is customer service, but you notice that's not on the list. Although I would put that on the list for conflict resolution. You're always going to need that. All right, so for some of you that want some high-paying jobs according to what the current market is looking at, here's the 10 highest-paying AI jobs and best salaries of 2024. Number 1, machine learning engineer, $109,000 average salary. AI engineer, $160,000. Data scientist, $65,000. Computer vision engineer, $168,000. Natural language processing engineer, $86,000. Deep learning engineer, $141,000. AI research scientist, $115,000. Business development manager, $196,000. AI product manager, $128,000. And AI consultant, $125,000. So if you're watching this, you're sitting there saying, Pat, I'm a little worried. Are you telling me my job's going to be replaced? It depends. If you sit there and do nothing about it, yeah, probably it is. By the way, everything in life, whether it's your career, business, marriage, kids, politics, everything's about leverage. So what does it mean about leverage? What leverage do you have in the economy for the economy to say, damn, we need this guy. We can't lose this guy. What leverage do you have? What's your leverage? What's the leverage for your husband to say, man, frickin' this wife of, a wife of...
This is basically exactly what I said in the very first and third argument or something. The best leverage in my mind is if you are 100% you, and while being you, helping other people. So nobody can out you. So nobody can be better at being you than you. Okay, now I said a lot of you. If you, for example, love cutting wood, I don't know. So and you do this day in, day out, you freaking love it. When you don't have to work, you always cut wood. You know all the techniques. You maybe have even created your own. You cut wood for your neighbors. Everyone knows, okay, you are the freaking woodcutter. You would make this, you would love to make this actually to your main job, but it doesn't pay well. I argue with the right like channels, basically, like marketing, for example, and business channels, like that I can help you a business, for example, around it. You can help people around the world with being you. It's called productized authenticity from Naval Ravikant. And I think this is there is not, at least that I know of, there is not more leverage than making what you love, what you absolutely purely passionate about, what you make money with, leveraged through AI, through the internet, etc. pp. So I'm completely on board with him, although maybe for different reasons. I don't know fully.
Mine is amazing. She's such a great mother. She does this, she does that. What's the leverage for a husband, your wife, to say, man, my husband is a freaking amazing? What leverage do you have for your kids one day get married and have their own kids and have a choice between going to different in-laws to choosing you over the other in-law? What leverage do you have? What leverage do you have for people to want? Everything is about leverage and what you bring to the marketplace. So for those, a guy calls me the other day saying, hey, Pat.
Okay, I have the feeling he is just using leverage as a buzzword, and I don't understand what his definition of leverage is here. So I'm not sure what he's saying, actually. It sounds for me that he's not wrong, but to argue with leverage who your child's favor, I don't know if that it would be the point or the perspective that I would take, but again, he doesn't sound wrong, or at least I cannot understand completely what is his reasoning behind the words he's saying, but I think it's right what he is saying.
Are you noticing your YouTube views dropping? So not right now. He says, because a lot of us who are talking to each other, we're feeling it, and we're noticing that this is what's going on with this. And I said, listen, it's because you're doing the same content you did 4 years ago. What's changed about your content? Algorithms get bored. Audience gets bored. There's a lot of YouTubers that have 3, 4, 5, 10 million subscribers, that there is no new audience that's interested in their content today because they already know what they stand for. So no matter what it is, don't let this be a fear of AI. This is everything in life. If your business doesn't improve, clients are going to go elsewhere. If your vision is not real and the people working for your company don't see you driving towards the vision, they're going to go find somebody that's got a real vision instead of just talking about they got a vision. So let's talk about it. Number one.
Okay. I 100% agree. I would say this is just basically evolution. If you don't grow, get better fitting in whatever niche you're in right now, you will die eventually. Like you see this in the whole universe, everywhere, and on Earth especially. So again, he's right. I 100% agree with him, although my reasoning would be different. I guess. I'm not even sure if my reasoning is different. At least the words I would choose and I choose are different from his.
Constant learning and improving. As long as you're ahead of the game, you don't have to worry about being replaced because you're constantly improving yourself. Number two.
Well, that is not right in the way he is stating it. Because I could improve myself to hell. I don't know, building Excel sheets. I could get, holy hell, could I good created it. Or 200 years ago, I could improve myself absolutely to access lighting the street lights. Like 200 years ago, before we had electrification, there were actually people who were lighting like the lanterns, etc., every night and making them go away. I don't know what is the word right now for it. Making them shut down so they don't light anymore in the morning. So I could improve myself to death in areas that are already lost or lost in the near future. So I don't agree with that one, but like improving in fundamental skills, first principle thinking, for example. Getting better at learning, getting better at execution, etc., etc. Sure, but not as utmost as he's painted the picture.
Two, soft skills. Yes, we're probably going an era where we're going to be working with a lot of computers, machines, and maybe some people are going to be working from home. But I'm here to tell you, people are going to want to go to a market to be around other people. No matter how much they try to do the ebooks, no matter how much they do ebooks, okay, I'm going to go read ebooks. That's what I'm going to do. And bookstores are going to go away. We still want to go to Barnes & Noble. There's a market to want to go to Barnes & Noble. No matter how much they do, hey, I want food to be delivered to my house. People want to go to a place where there's people. They don't want to, no matter how much you get to watch every big concert in the world, you can watch it here. Why did Taylor Swift break the record for concerts? Why?
What he's basically saying is, if you align your business idea or whatever you want to do with evolutionary biology, you are safe. This is what Jeff Bezos said when he said, everyone wants to know what is the next big thing and changes, blah, blah, blah. We just look at what will never change. And people, or it's almost impossible to imagine that people will say, I want to have slower service. I want to pay more for it. Because it's a sub-function of entropy in the end. And there you come to evolutionary biology. And so basically, if you understand basic concept of evolutionary biology and you align your business accordingly with it, this is what he's saying. Like, people will always go to places where other people are, to concerts, to weddings, to restaurants, whatever, because we are people who like humans, like other humans. Well, not all the time, not blah, but we are evolved like this. So he's right, but again, I'm not sure what is his reasoning. But I could also understand if he just don't make it that clear, because it has to be a concise video, not like mine here.
Why would people want to go see her physically? They can watch the damn video for free, because we need to be around other people. That's how God created us. So don't fall for this foolish trap of we don't need to learn how to get along with.
Okay, I don't think God is involved for anything. You don't need any God for this, but we are evolved for it. So yeah, I think we basically agree on the action, but yeah, so
with other people and develop soft skills. Number three, be agile, be nimble, and be ready to adapt, because at any point things can move very quickly, right? And last but not least, anticipate. Think like a general, what could potentially happen in the next 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years within my industry, and how can I have an advantage? How can I position myself in a way to win? If you're just sitting there still using the same software, and you're like, oh my God, look what they're doing to editing with AI. This is so deeply concerning. No, how can I use this to provide a better product for my clients that they're going to sit there and say, shit, you're doing this and this and this. The other guy's not. Good for you. You're not a lazy guy. In every possible way, if you find a way to have leverage by differentiating yourself against your competitors, you don't have a lot to worry about in the market of capitalism. Because
okay, the problem is he is right. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it sounds for me on the first glance that he's just using leverage as a buzzword for everything. Like, give me a hot cocoa with a lot of leverage in it. I don't know. I agree on the basic premise that you need to stay on the ball, basically. But the problem is, especially with AI, it is such a first complex field. And second, and it is maybe even the more troubling problem, it is moving so freaking quickly that if you start to go deep in it right now, you probably just get drawn away with the shore. So I agree with him, but the problem is it's harder than ever to stay on the ball, to stay informed, to draw the right consequences from whatever you're seeing. That is why you need extremely high valuable principles at first, and at least triangulated experts in the field that you can trust, that basically do the work for you. So, for example, one of the people that I trust the most is Andrew Ng. He's the guy who made Google AI ready back in the day when AI was just nobody cared, basically. He made Baidu AI ready. He is now a professor at Stanford. Blah, blah, blah. He's a long, long, long list. He's one of, at least on my book, one of the top 3 at least experts on AI on the world right now. That's it. So I trust him. Not blindly, but I trust him. So if he says something and his perspective is very valuable to me, then I think, interesting. Maybe I should go deeper there. So at least what works for me in the last 12 years plus is searching very, very thoroughly for experts that I can trust, that their perspective I think makes sense. Again, due diligence with my own first principle thinking. And then take them as proxies. And if I think, okay, that is an interesting point, reason for myself, bulletproof it basically, and then take it into my own worldview. So again, I agree with him on the surface, but probably not in the machine room. But I don't know.
the market's always going to want people that innovate, improve, and anticipate what's to come next. Having said that, if you enjoyed this video, there's another video I want you to watch. We did a video on deep fakes and AI.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up pretty good. I have to agree. Again, it's evolution. If you don't evolve, if you don't get better, whatever better means for that sake, healthier, more valuable for your customers, blah, then eventually you will die out. And the churning rates, like the iteration rates, are spinning faster every day. That is what AI basically is doing, what exponential growth is doing. So, all in all, good video, I would say. Again, I agree with him on the surface a lot, not under the hood. In some aspects, I don't agree with him, but all in all, sounds like a sound video to me. See you in the next one. Bye.